for my mother being alive. I am thankful I could sleep at night. Thankful I'm not filled with hate in my heart, unlike some people. Gypsy-Rose, Blanchard, what are you thankful for? Because I don't think you are. You have way too much hate to be thankful for anything.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've never sat down to a dinner with a convicted murderer. Feels like it might be a little bit awkward.
Alright, let's talk about Ken and Gypsy's vacation in Florida for Thanksgiving. Isn't it strange how Gypsy is allowed to move around freely and allowed to do whatever she wants, despite the fact that she's on parole? Isn't she supposed to be restricted or something? There have been complaints about how Gypsy's followers have been threatening content creators together with their kids, but nothing has been done yet about that fact. People can't help but feel like Gypsy is like a threat to society because the kind of influence she has on her followers is unmatched. They're willing to do anything on her behalf. For instance, imagine someone swinging their fiu-fiu in to defend Gypsy, not even minding about what charges that action could cause him. We have also seen her friend Bree go out of her way to take the shots on behalf of Gypsy. Not forgetting Ryan, who is willing to be embarrassed and be shamed in front of the public, but keep his loyalty for Gypsy.
Not only is she spreading lies about Gypsy, but she's spreading lies about Gypsy's unborn child. Like, this world is such a sick place, and I can't believe I live in it sometimes. Leanna, you are a sick individual. You are sick.
What am I trying to show here? This shows that the more Gypsy moves around, the more influence she could have on people and can use them in a way that she desires, because something is just odd with the way her circle gives her the unwavering loyalty. Anyway, let us first look at how Gypsy and Ken's Thanksgiving photos have been criticized. Gypsy and Ken went to Florida to celebrate Thanksgiving together with Ken's family. So, since Gypsy is no longer allowed to use her social media for her personal content, but has the undying thirst to put her life out there, she uses other people in her life to sneak out her personal content. For Thanksgiving content, Ken's platform came in handy to give the public insight of how the celebration is going. Ken posted a picture of him together with Gypsy and captioned, "The story, Palm Beach, Florida."
Hey, didn't Gypsy say she wasn't posting private pictures on public accounts? Oh, I'm sorry, Ken posted this picture. I mean, every murderer has an MO.
Most reactions about this post was her pose in the picture, how she was literally as if pushing her belly outward in the photo, but let us get into that later. Let us first look at the fact that Gypsy has a free will to leave the state whenever she wishes like. Is this some kind of special treatment? Because we've seen quite a number of parole violations, but nothing has been done yet about that part. Apart from the fact that she was restricted on social media and yet she still manages to go through other people to get her personal posts in the public.
Narcissist that she believes she's above the law and that the rules don't apply to her. She thinks she's smarter than everybody and can get away with everything. So just like she thought she could frame Nick and walk free, she thought she could get away with violating her parole. It's clear that Gypsy believes she is so grandiose and so superior that she can get away with anything. She's even stated publicly that she is used to getting everything she wants and she doesn't like to pay for anything.
The last time she left her state was when she went to California together with Ken, and here too she wasn't restricted, nor did she face any repercussions for that. Well, probably here we can say she gave the excuse of having been invited for a panel discussion at the 7th Project Rebound mural celebration at San Francisco State University. The panel was basically about the thin line between victim and victimizer, which we can't even tell if she gave her views like a victim or like the victimizer that she was. Anyway, the whole point is that this time her leaving the state wasn't business related and entirely was for recreational purposes. So according to her parole, she is supposed to be leaving the state anytime she feels like. She has even been reported many times to her PO for the times she has violated her parole, like hanging out in a restaurant that sells alcohol and actually being around people that were consuming the alcohol, reaching out to Nick Godejohn through the ankle and using her friend Bree to feed her with information, yet she was clearly restricted from having contact with the family.
Gypsy Rose has now violated her parole multiple times. She's received at least one citation and is probably going back to prison. The one thing that's confirmed that she received a citation for was contacting not one, but 3 different people who she was not supposed to be in contact with by emails, phone calls, and text messages. But it's also recently come out that Gypsy has done many other things she was not supposed to be doing. For one, you're not supposed to consume substances or drink alcohol, and she has been busted for going out to karaoke bars,
using her platforms to bully content creators, and the funny fact that all these scenarios have the receipts for them, but she seems to be untouchable, that none of these actually backfired to her. Is it because of the fame she got out of her infamous crimes that the PO have decided to turn a blind eye about all this? Also, don't get me started on the threat reports that have been reported to Gypsy's PO because of her out of controlling followers that have been threatening content creators. Complaints keep coming up that Gypsy is pushing some buttons through other people and then posing like she had nothing to do with anything. Looking at the most recent example, Gypsy contacted one of her friends, Rogi, to save her from a content creator, Ivory Rose, who drove past her home. This friend of hers pulled out a few to scare off Ivory. This is the kind of influence Gypsy has on her followers. Then also Gypsy using her friend Bree to stalk her at her workplace. Also, in another incident, Gypsy diehard threatened a content creator in the comment section, telling her to focus on her baby, else will be unlived.
Gypsy Rose was in trouble with her parole officer, Josh Becknell, for things like this. For things exactly like this, and much worse. And I have Josh Becknell's email address. You think I'm scared of you? Baby, I'm from Texas.
All these reports were made to Gypsy's PO, but nothing seemed to have been done or even the investigations heading anywhere. This shows Gypsy just has enough influence on people that she could send them into doing shady things and her hands would remain clean. Of course, the live example we have is Nick Godejohn, whom she manipulated into unleaving her mother after knowing the fact that he had autism and had immense love for her. Same way Ryan looks like he's Gypsy's new Nick, with the way he shows his loyalty for Gypsy regardless of the times that Gypsy has humiliated him. He still endeavors not to spill deadly facts about her that he says he has. This again reminds us of Nick. He also refused to hold Gypsy accountable for manipulating him into the act and accepting to go down single-handedly for the crime. Let us not forget that this Gypsy that orchestrated the unaliving of her mother is the same Gypsy that her fans are willing to protect at all costs, regardless of the lengths that they have to go to.
I think that Gypsy Rose is going to mess up really bad. I think the second that she is not under the control of the parole board, she is going to run amok. We all know that she can't be controlled. We all know that she's salivating at the fact that she gets off of parole soon. And we all heard her say that she was going to come at people when she's off parole, that she's got to watch herself right now. So I don't think that she is going to go back to prison. I don't think anybody's going to pick up charges on her. I don't think anything like that. But I do think, however, that she is so uncontrollable that the second she's off parole, she's going to run amok and get herself into a lot of trouble.
So the more these parole officers continue to overlook these reports made about Gypsy, the more danger might befall on some people because of her. Getting back to the photo that Ken posted together with Gypsy, people can't help but notice Gypsy's awkward standing style, commenting on how weird the baby bump is looking this time. The last time Gypsy was sighted, her belly had seemed to disappear, which got some people alleging that she was no longer pregnant and wondering where the bump had gone and why she looked like she shed off a lot of weight. Now, in this post, Gypsy was standing in the picture with her leg out as if pushing her belly outward more. It seemed like she wanted the bump to look bigger. Alright, we can say she didn't mean to push her belly out like that and that she just posed like that to reach out to Ken, but just by virtue of this pose, it is supposed to make the belly become more protruding. So tell me why hers is still not making a significant show in this picture. Remember, her pregnancy is due January, so basically she is in the latest stages of her pregnancy. Shouldn't it be more protruding than it looked? This whole confusion just continues to prove the theories that Gypsy's pregnancy sparks all around. Some comments on the picture also insinuated that Gypsy aimed for her bump to look bigger, and as another said the bump looked like a pillow. The comments read, It looks like a soft pillow. And then this comment was replied by another commenter expressing her concerns too, saying, I am fairly short myself. So what I found was that my bum popped out forward, like a beach ball. Gypsy is shorter than me, so I'm confused as to why her bump isn't popping out more. If that makes sense, as someone else said, it's like a pillow up her top. Another commenter just wondered why Gypsy posed with jerry leg out like that, which of course brings us to the same assumption of Gypsy aiming for her belly to look bigger. Anyways, Gypsy and everything going on around her right now is creepy by the mere fact that she's allowed to move around like that despite her parole. But do you think Gypsy is under any kind of special treatment? Is she exempted from some parole restrictions? How is she allowed to leave her state for long like that? Also, what are your views about her bump that she's forcing to be seen in the pictures? Is there some sinister truth behind this whole appearance? Let me know what your thoughts are on this whole Gypsy situation. Like and subscribe to keep updated on more buzz around.